Nice to see you guys joining. It's so exciting. Okay. It's going to be a cozy, tight-knit group today. I'm just going to kind of talk about what is mindfulness. I don't want to get too complicated with this because it doesn't have to be complicated. Sending love right back to you guys. So, just welcome, obviously. I have a little notebook here to keep me on track because I tend to ramble, if any of you know me, which most of you do. Kisses and love. So, mindfulness, in a nutshell, is just a state beyond thought. It's mindful awareness. So, when we say our mind, what is the word mindfulness? Why do we use the word mindfulness when it is a state beyond thought? Because our mind is full of awareness. So it can be in meditation practice where you access stillness and you try not to think through many different methods, which I'm going to kind of go over a few little techniques. Or you can simply access a mindful state through activity. So being creative, an exercise that you enjoy, even cooking, cleaning, doing things for yourself where you're engaged. So it is simply a feeling of aliveness, the feeling of being alive. And it is, you can kind of use two different sort of methods, and one of them is the external focus and then the internal focus, or you can kind of combine them both. So the external focus would be when we are engaging in an activity, and the internal focus is when we kind of look inwards and reflect. It can be journaling, it can be meditation, or sometimes there's a combination of the two where it's kind of an internal and an external focus. And that can be creative things where you're actually using the body, or it can be yoga, which is using the body but accessing that state of stillness, kind of combining the two. And meditation can kind of be seen as combining the two as well. You can kind of use external focus, so you can use a prop, for instance, like looking at a candle flame. I talked about this in one of my 30-day mindfulness challenge videos. Looking into a candle flame is a great way to have external focus that helps you engage with an internal focus. So that candle flame, everyone seems to hey, thanks for joining. Sorry. Everyone seems to be drawn to a flame. It is said to activate something in our brains, a gland in the center of our minds called the pineal gland, which is said to create, or it does create DMT, produces DMT for our body, and that is where we access a dream state, and we produce DMT in very high states of meditation as well. So I'm kind of getting off track, but basically when we stare at a flame, it can help us access that internal peace, that internal awareness, and it's an external focal point. So we can also externally focus on our body, the feeling of our body, the feeling of our weight on whatever surface we're on, and gravity holding us to that surface, supporting us. That is an external way to focus internally. So these are some techniques that I'm kind of, at the end of me kind of blabbering for a little bit, I'm going to guide you through a very short little meditation that's going to use some of these techniques. But I kind of wanted to talk about breath as well during this, because the breath is so intrinsically connected to a state of cohesion. What cohesion is when our electromagnetic frequency, basically, that our heart is producing is a stable rhythm. So our heart is at a stable rhythm, and our heart is never fully at a stable rhythm. There's always slight fluctuations in a heart rhythm pattern. But when we control our breath, or when we ease our breath, it can have a massive effect. It is intrinsically connected, in fact, to our heart rhythm pattern. And when we have a stable or a cohesive heart rhythm pattern where overall, even though there are slight fluctuations throughout, overall it's very balanced, that allows our body to function in the opposite state of stress. Basically, cohesion is the opposite of stress. So when we are cohesively functioning, our cells are doing what they're supposed to do without having any interruptions. This is why stress kills us. It stops our body from functioning at its highest capacity. We literally age ourselves stressing because our cells start dying off. They're not reproducing at the right rate. Women especially have like facial it shows in our faces basically when we're stressed. Like almost instantaneously it affects us. More so than men, and I don't know why the biology is to that extent, but it affects our bodies to the same degree and in different ways. For every person, stress affects us differently, but it all affects us. So when we can control our breath, control our heart rhythm pattern, and ease ourselves into a state of cohesive awareness, it teaches us how to access that state throughout our day, throughout our lives. And there's no healthier state to be in for our physical selves, for our emotional selves, and for our social selves. We function better when we're not wrapped up and in a high energetic state. You can relate this to like working on a test. When you're really, really stressed, you might not be able to grab those answers right away, whereas when you breathe and you relax, they just come to you. So it's about, basically meditation, for example, is about focusing on, like really focusing in on that feeling of aliveness. So you can use so many different methods to do that. You can do what I said, focusing on the weight of your body on the earth. You can focus on the air, on your skin, so physical things. You can focus on the feeling of your breath filling your body. We can focus on external things like a focal point, like the candle, like I said. My feed on Facebook just died. That's sad. That's okay. Or we can focus on internal things. So one great internal way to focus is through our eyes. When our eyes are closed, we can, instead of just getting lost in the images of our mind, if we do choose to close our eyes during meditation, and this is what you choose to do, and we can, instead of just, getting lost in the depths of our thoughts and imagery that can come up, what we're going to do if your eyes are closed is look at the back of your eyelids. Like, look into the darkness of your eyes. And don't search for pictures or images or meaning. Just notice the gaze of, coming out of your eyes. Like, where is that gaze coming from? What does that gaze feel like? You're not looking at anything in particular. You're not seeking anything. You're just looking. So focus on that gaze. Another thing, and I can't remember if I learned this through yoga, through my many years of practice, or if this is something that I do, but a cool thing to do with your eyes, if you do choose to close them, is kind of focus them as if you were looking at something. So if your eyes are closed, and you can just practice this right now if you'd like, just have your hand, actually before you close your eyes, have your hand in front of you, about 3 feet in front of you, or as far as it'll extend, and lift it up about a foot, and look at your fingertips, and then just close your eyes. So where your gaze is landing, you kind of feel, if you drew a line of sight from your pupils to that spot, it kind of goes through your forehead, So I don't know what it is about doing that, but it kind of focuses your vision. It kind of, instead of having your eyes go down where you can kind of be thinking about things, your eyes are focused on pointing upwards. You may feel even a little bit of flickering in the eyelids, and but it is a great way to focus. It almost, you can feel your gaze going through your forehead if you kind of practice that enough. It's really beautiful. So I just want to make sure I'm not losing track here. Yeah, so that's with the eyes, the body I talked about, but the breath is something that I wanted to talk about too. So I want to do a breath work practice with you guys. There's just 3 little things that I want to give you as tools that you can use in your life. The most basic one is the ujjayi breath. So that is a Sanskrit term. I have my book here, just my yoga teacher manual, just so I can translate it, but it's translated to the triumphant breath, or a triumphant breath. What it is basically an exhale that kind of sounds just like a sigh. So you would take a deep inhale through your nose and out through your mouth, an audible sound. It's almost like a closing at the back of your throat, but not so much so that you're constricting, just a lifting back here so that you're sighing. And what that is, it's a cleansing breath. So in through your nose, we're going to just practice 3 right now because they feel awesome. So, and out through your mouth. This is my first time doing this. Okay, we're just going to hold the camera. So we're going to do 2 more ujjayi breaths. Okay. And last one. Beautiful. So we naturally do that throughout our day. It sounds like a sigh because that's something that we do when we are stressed, when we've had too much, when we've been holding tension for a while, or a lot of tension. We just eventually will be like, ah, and that is our body asking us to breathe it. Our face is something I really want to talk about because we hold so much tension in our face, and this is something you can do in meditation practice, but this is a mindful practice just to be aware of our face throughout the day. How am I holding my face? Are my eyebrows scrunched together? Are my eyelids like tense? Are my cheeks tense? My jaw, where is that? My forehead and my hairline. It sounds funny, but sometimes when you relax, you literally see your hairline just drop and go back. We hold tension all over our heads and our bodies. So during this practice, the meditation practice at the end, I'm giving you right now just a bunch of different things that you can use. I want you to grab on to whatever you gravitate to, whatever I say that kind of hits home for you. Use those things in the practice that we do at the end. It's going to be a short 5-minute practice or so. So one of the things I'm going to ask you to do, because everyone can do this, is release tension in their face. It's such an easy way and a great way to just start that mindfulness feeling of aliveness, just being aware of your face. And you might find a little smile creep across it. I've noticed while watching back my meditation videos, when I'm thinking, I might have a face like this. And then I notice that during moments where I had complete peace and stillness, you'll see just a slight smile creep across my face. And yeah, there's a lot of moments during those videos where I'm just kind of scrunched down like this because it is hard to shut our brains off. But that's why we practice this. It doesn't just take 30 days to get to that state, but it is a good first step. And so that's why I was doing that. I want to teach you another breathing technique. So, like I taught you about an ujjayi breath. That's kind of like how to take a proper, but I want to talk about how to take a proper breath in general. A lot of us, when we take a deep breath, we lift our shoulders up, and that's because we have a lot of tension and tightness in our chests, in our shoulders, in our necks. It's really hard for us to it's mostly in our chests. It's hard for us to let our chest expand because of all the tension we hold in our rib cage, in our chest, even in our like sides here, our obliques, which is part of our rib cage. So when we force our shoulders to stay down, and not absurdly down, but just comfortably down, and we take a deep breath, allowing our belly, this is what we call in yoga a belly breath, allowing our belly to expand up until what you think might look like the laughing Buddha sitting in your lap. Just let your belly expand. Don't worry about looking fat. If no one's around, hopefully, but if they are, who cares? Let your stomach expand, because that's your diaphragm pushing everything down and making room for your lungs to expand. And even as I do this now, I feel tightness in my chest. I feel those areas that need expanding. But I want us to do 3 proper breaths together. So I want you to get comfortably sitting up. You can be lying down too, but what I want us to focus on is keeping our shoulders down, not in an aggressive way, but keeping them down and letting our bellies expand and feeling our rib cage expand with it. And with every exhale, I want you to push out a little bit more. And every inhale, I want you to try to get a little bit more air in. So we're going to do 5 of these. So I'm going to begin, and you can join me. So I just took an extra breath just to make sure you guys got all of yours in. I hope you did. The last little breathing technique I want to give you is one for deep relaxation. This is to help you sleep if you can't sleep. This is to help you get out of a panic attack. This is to help you in times of high stress. So this practice, and we're not going to practice it together too long, but I want to do just a few breaths with it, just so you can get the idea, and then you can practice it on your own when you need it, maybe when you're going to sleep tonight. So it's a very simple technique. Every inhale, we're counting. So the first inhale, we count to 3. The second inhale, we count to 4, and so on and so forth. But our exhale is it's always going to be 1 count longer than our inhale. So if when we're inhaling to 3, that doesn't mean we're taking a shallow breath, so that when we're inhaling to 4, the next time it's going to be deeper. What we're doing is each time we're taking a full capacity breath. It's just the first time I'm counting to 3 Mississippi. So I'm going to count, and I'm going to ask you guys to do it, because it's very hard for me to breathe and guide. So I'm just going to talk you through this right now. We're going to inhale 1, 2, 3, full capacity breath. Hold for a second. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. All that air should be pushed out. Push it out. Pause. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Full capacity breath. Pause. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Full capacity, and we hold, and then you exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Push all that air out, hold, and we start breathing again. So this rhythmic pattern of breathing, it pulls you into a deep focus with your breath, and it deeply relaxes the body because you're taking in so much oxygen, you're alkalining the body. It just balances everything, physically, energetically, emotionally. They're very cleansing, healing breaths. So that's a tool that you can use when you are very deeply stressed, or when you need to go to sleep or focus. And I just want to go ahead and end this live. I so appreciate everyone having joined and everyone who's here with a beautiful meditation. So this is going to be a short little guided meditation. You can sit, you can stand, you can lie down. I would recommend lying down. And if you do lie down, if you have a place to lie down, I want you to get flat. And just spread your legs, let your feet hang to the sides, flop. Let your arms flop. Let your neck kind of rest on the back of the surface that you're on, and let the middle of your spine and your low back rest on the surface you're on. So there shouldn't be too much of, curves in your spine. Try to keep it rested, supported on the surface that you're on. If you're sitting, I want you to get on to your sit bones. So those are your butt bones. Just by literally lifting the flesh, your gluteus maximus, from your butt. So just literally lift your cheeks a little bit and get your butt bones, your sitting bones, planted on the surface that you're on. Then root yourself up from your sit bones, so through your spine. And sit comfortably. You're not engaging your core in an uncomfortable way. Your legs should be comfortable, so if crossing them is going to be uncomfortable after a minute or two, then don't cross them. Have them with your feet flat on the floor. That's awesome too. And this meditation that I'm going to be guiding you through is just going to be focusing on the breath quickly, grounding, and doing a quick, what I call, body scan. And we're going to just begin. So you should be lying down, sitting, comfortable, maybe standing if you want. Your feet are rooted in the earth if they're on the ground. If you're lying down, your back is flat and your spine is rooted on the earth that way. If you're sitting, your sit bones are rooted to the earth, and that's how you're grounded. And that, when I'm saying rooted to the earth, I mean for you to literally envision that. If you don't have a very visual mind, that is fine. But what does it mean to be rooted to the earth? Hold that intention. What does it mean to be rooted to the earth? To be feeling grounded. It can be, you can imagine a feeling of magnetism holding you to the ground, because that's technically what this is. That's what gravity is. So we're going to close our eyes For this one, I don't want you to control your breath or focus on your breath in that way. I want you to let it be. Relax your breathing. So we're not focusing on our breath. We're not counting our breaths for this meditation. This one, we're letting our breath breathe us. We're letting our bodies breathe us. But I do want you to keep in mind the belly breathing that I was telling you about, allowing your stomach to expand before you let your shoulders move. So our eyes are closed. We're letting our bodies breathe us. And you're grounded to the earth. You are supported by the earth. I want you to relax your eyebrows, your forehead, and your scalp. Relax your ears and your eyes and your cheeks, your jaw and tongue and lips. Let everything just be held by the gravity of the earth. You are held and you are supported. I want you to slowly let each part of your body, at your own pace, focusing on each part, your neck, down to your shoulders. Feel them get heavier. Feel the gravity of the earth just holding and supporting each and every part of you, inch by inch. Acknowledge every part being supported. I want you to slowly make your way down. You should be somewhere around your hips or your tailbone, your legs and knees and ankles. And even if your toes aren't touching the earth, all the way to the tips of your toes, feel gravity supporting you and holding you. And let yourself be breathed. This is your home. Your body is your home, and this is your safe space. You can come here to this place of stillness and ease with yourself anytime, any place. You don't have to be lying down. This is within you. And I just want you to soak it in. Just soak in that luscious feeling of stillness and peace. Thank the earth for supporting you. Thank the earth for the air that you breathe, for the sun that warms our skin and grows our food, for water, for this body that carries us through this life. And just take that second to feel that gratitude. And I want you to turn it in on yourself. Send yourself some loving, juicy gratitude. And say thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time for yourself, to focus on yourself, to look inwards, and to reconnect with this true part of ourselves, this true essence. And it is essentially just the essence of being, the essence of existing. And that's you sensing nature. We are nature, and if you want to call it God, spirit, nature, chi, prana. You are sensing that divine energy that is in you and in all of us and in all living things, and that is in all matter. Everything is energy. We're all in this together. So on that note, I want you to slowly wiggle your toes and fingers. Slowly invite movement back into your body. You can open your eyes if they were closed. And I just want to let you guys come out of your meditation slowly while I thank you for doing this for yourself and for supporting me and joining me to discuss what I think is really important for all of us. So this has been a lovely chat. I hope you got something out of our discussion or out of the meditation and our breathwork practices. If you have any questions, want any advice, or want to leave any reviews for me, feedback is amazing. Comments and questions are always welcome. So I thank you guys. You can get to me through my Instagram, obviously, or you can click the link in my bio and message me through my Facebook. You can book sessions with me through my Facebook, and you can leave a review on my Facebook. That would be amazing. So I just thank you again, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much, wonderful people. Bye.